Okay, so currently what makes me happy is with everything going on, knowing that my family is safe and healthy and that I get to spend time with my parents and my brother and also eat all the mangoes I can. I've been enjoying that so much. But yeah, otherwise, reading, painting, writing poetry, it fills my soul. Having that privilege of that space and time at this phase in everyone's lives is really such a gift, and that's been keeping me happiest. What is my definition of true love? True love is, I want to say something cheesy like pyar dosti hai. But I do actually believe that. I do think love is companionship, and true love is actually being able to be individuals together and understanding the other person's space and time and giving them that space and time. I would also say that true love for me really doesn't have boundaries or a fixed definition as such. It's something felt, it's something sure, it's something promising, and it really doesn't look at race, class, caste, sexuality, gender, and it's free of all those constructs. I think it thrives and exists all around us and within us, and it's just our job to live our lives and eventually find it. I would say I'm closest to my mom in my family, and also my dad and my brother, but I think my mom especially because we have so much in common. We love writing and reading, and like her, I want to be creative and have that space to think for myself. So yeah, and of course I ask for advice from everyone in my family. I think I've asked for something or the other from everyone. I go to my brother for relationship advice because even though he's 3 years younger to me, he's surprisingly much better at relationships and understanding people than I am. I think I'm always just in my head and caught up in my own world, and sometimes the red flags I don't see, he ends up seeing and telling me, don't do this, be careful. And that helps a lot. I go to my mom and my dad a lot for art and writing related advice because I mean they've read and researched so much within that and they know so much within that, so that's been super helpful. And I also go to my granny a lot for any Parsi dish making advice, or even like cooking a meal for myself. Sometimes I'll just video call her and be like, okay, tell me what to do. And yeah, so it's quite often I go to all of them, and because I live with my parents and my brother, you know, they're always right here and I can always just be like, hey, help me right now. So yeah, pranks and the craziest things I've done, where to start? There's so many. I remember when ZNMD came out, all the friends who used to live around me, our little group of tiny kids, we would hide behind the cars on the little gully we lived in. We would wait there patiently and wait for these taxis or little uncles and cycles and scooters to go by and immediately jump out, scream at them or shout at them and surprise them. And we thought we were having the time of our lives, and it was the most fun. And in school also we did so many pranks and jokes. After seeing Impractical Jokers, we were so obsessed with the concept of these pranks done on strangers that in our little friend group, we made this plan that one by one, each person will be given dares that they have to do. And I had to do a couple of things, going and squirting water on people's necks and running away, and like shaving pencils in people's hands, and like, I don't know, insane things like that. And the one prank that was done to me was that my friends thought it would be really funny to make a cupcake and then put pav bhaji masala inside that. And unfortunately, I came to know about it before, but I was so game and I was so sporty that I said, no, I'm going to eat this cupcake. And I did. I won't say it was the best decision, but they were all super impressed that I was so ready to be a part of the prank and all of that. What's the most important thing the world needs right now? I would say is humanity, is each other. More than anything in the world, we need other people's support, help, and awareness at this point in time, especially with everything going on in our country, especially with all of us around the world struggling to even meet our family members and to even stand next to each other in person. It's such a difficult time, and honestly, more than anything, what has touched me and what has inspired me personally has been to see ordinary people helping out others at this time. Obviously, NGOs and even with big brands donating, bringing out new schemes and things to support people who are suffering and who are struggling at this time. To see that come alive has been the most uplifting thing, and honestly, that's what we need. We need small acts of kindness. We need each person to believe that even the smallest thing can make a difference, because it can. So I really think right now humanity needs humanity to survive and thrive. Anything I would like to change about myself? To be honest, I would say the fact that I overthink so much. Even when it comes to writing and poetry, my poetry is so filled with words and feelings and emotions, and that's where I usually pour out my heart. But otherwise, my head is this overgrown jungle of thoughts, which can be cut down and should be cut down. So yeah, I would like to change the fact that I doubt myself so much and I keep overanalyzing everything, even though sometimes it's just a simple thing and we should let it be simple. Okay, love or arranged marriage? I can't decide. If you would have asked me this a couple of years ago, my answer easily would have been love marriage, because दिल धड़कता है तो धड़कने दो ना. But actually, after seeing Seema auntie and everyone's stories on Indian matchmaking, I've completely changed my mind about how arranged marriage can be and what it can be for everyone. So I think it's very subjective and it's anyone's choice, anyone's personal choice. But I think for me, it'll have to be love marriage. My equations with my siblings and my cousins is, touch wood, the best, honestly. I'm very close to my younger brother, who's 3 years younger to me. Now we're at an age where we bond and talk so much and we share so much with each other, and that's honestly been the best, from like fighting and arguing like siblings to kind of having this space of understanding each other, because we both live in the same house, we go through so much that's so similar. So that's been of enormous help to have someone who completely gets it and who lives with you. And as far as my cousin sisters are concerned, we have been so close, and honestly that's been one of the hardest things during this lockdown, to not get to see them. One of them is 8 years old and one of them is 17, and both of them are just the cutest things in the world. And obviously, as their elder sister, they look up to me, and the youngest one loves dressing up like me and tying her hair like me, and that's honestly been such a gift to have siblings and cousins who are more than family, and they become best friends and kind of soulmates. Where to even begin? Most embarrassing moment. Okay, I remembered. Oh my god. So this is one of my most embarrassing moments, I think. It's from the first grade, and and I remember it was just a regular day, but my head was hurting so badly in school, and the lunch break bell rang and it was the next period, but there was so much noise and everyone was so excited. The teacher was late that they were all screaming and shouting as first standard kids do, but I was in pain, you know, this headache was killing me, and I was like, oh my god, what should I do? Why can't they keep quiet? And I don't know what happened, what came over me. I stood up on the bench and I looked at everyone and I screamed, shut up, so loudly. And that's exactly when the teacher decided to walk in, and I didn't realize that she had come in, and I thought, oh, everyone's quiet now. So I was like, wow. Immediately I went to turn my head, she slapped my face. Yeah, I was so embarrassed and scarred for life. Safe to say, I've never shouted shut up after that. So best and worst things about social media and having a smartphone is difficult to discuss, I think, because without my smartphone and without social media, there would be no way of reaching out to people, of doing this at this time, and so many other things that we are able to do and kind of work with ourselves. I think I would have to say one of the biggest pros has been the ability to reach out and stay in touch at a time of social isolation, at a time of quarantine, at a time of a social and global pandemic. To have social media, to have these contacts, these instances of reaching out, that is honestly the best gift to have. Of course, to top that off, foundations like Hemkant Foundation and all these other selfless volunteers and NGOs that are on social media, that do have smartphones, have been doing such phenomenal work to help people in need, help people who are hungry at this time, help people who can't breathe, who can't have water, who don't have access to beds even. And all of that is being solved and sorted through this power of social media. Something as simple as donating through your phone, as spreading awareness, sharing these stories on different platforms, and even calling out people who misuse their power. All of that has been fueled through social media, and for that we have to be immensely grateful. But at the same time, with great power does come great responsibility, and not everyone is responsible. So I think with that misuse of power, with hate being spread on social media, all of that is a very toxic and horrific side to it. But of course, there's two sides to every coin. Just as we fight through the negative and hang on to the positive, we can with this as well. And I know that with changes in so many aspects of our world and of our stories, we can manage to change this and be the change we want to see. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful. I hope I didn't say too much, because sometimes I can just go on and on. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to me and for seeing this video.